So, what are the three notes we're going to play? Well, we're in B flat, and we're doing the 2-5, 2-5-1 in B flat. So the 1, of course, is the B flat, so we'll include that as one of our three notes. Now the 5, the F7, the 5 chord, that between the 1 and the 5, now you're starting to really flesh out your tonality. So we're going to include an F as one of our three notes. So we've got the root, B flat, and we've got an F, which is the 5. But what about our third note? Well, you would think that we would use a C then, because after all, that's the 2. We've got the other 2 in there, but we're not going to use the 2. We're not going to use a C for this exercise. You can if you want later on, but for right now, we've got B flat, we've got F, and the third note that I'd like to work with is the 6th, the 6, which is G. I'm assuming everybody knows how to get these numbers on the scale, so I'm not going to ramble about that. But we'll use B flat, F, and G. Why G? Why are we going to use G? Well, because for one thing, G is a very safe note. Out of all the various notes that we could grab here, we've got 12 options. G is in this particular situation, this 2-5 situation here, G is a very safe note. It's also an interesting note from my perspective because I spent a lot of years playing in blues bands and rock bands, traditional rock and roll bands as a sax player. And the 6th, in this case the G, I always labeled as the rock note. Partly because it's used a lot in rock and roll, and also because there's an interesting little physical rock that can go between the 5, the 6, and the 1. Boo-doo-da, doo-doo-da, doo-doo-da. You'll hear it. It's really one of the lines that's kind of a root line for rock and roll. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get that. Kind of just rocks back and forth. Anyway, let's start the track again. And the exercise that I'm going to do mentally, I'll do it. You can do what you want. After all, it's jazz, right? But what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to start on the G. That's going to be my first note. My second note is going to be the F. And then eventually, I'll get to the B flat. But I'm not going to go to that B flat until I hear it, until I kind of want it, until I sort of need it to do something. So I'm going to start on the G. I'm going to work on it a little bit rhythmically. I'm going to add the F and use those two together just to see what they can do. Just have fun with those two notes. And then eventually, when I actually hear it, I'll go for the B flat. So we got about 10 rounds on this to go. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. I'm doing this totally cold. Okay. Well, I'm not going to get to Carnegie with that, but it's something. It's a start. It's something to play. Now what? Well, let's do it again. But this time, I'm going to use a second set of three, the same three notes, but in the next octave up. And in the same manner, I'm going to wait till I hear them. And when I hear them, then I'll pop them in. So now we actually got 6 notes to deal with. This should get interesting, hopefully. All right, I can tell you I could stay busy with those 6 for a while. But my instrument has the capability of doing another round, another octave, another 3, which would give me 9 options. Let's see if I can get those. Well, all right, let's give it a try just for fun. And ran out of time before I could get up to that last one, but isn't that nice? Isn't that great that there wasn't enough time to do it? And that's the basis of this lesson. It's 3 notes. We're talking about the 1, the 5, and then we're just popping the 6 in there, which is very, very soft. Gives us a lot of freedom without like really locking down a specific tone thing, as if we used a major 7 or a flat 7, or instead of using a 6, if we'd used a flat 5 or something. You know, those kind of notes have a lot more power. We can get to those notes, but in the meantime, I have a lot to do with these 3, and it's obvious I got to go back and do some serious practice on this, because there's a lot of music in there. So, the backing track is linked down below here. Go to the backing track and have fun. And we'll catch you on the next one.